What was it that made you think, right, I'm going to step into this experience and I'm going to show up fully? What was the thing that helped you step in?
I was so hungry to be seen. I think that I had purposely kept myself small, and there was a big me inside wanting to come out, and um, the small part of me kept me safe, but actually it was doing a disservice to myself and the world. And so when you came across my social media, I don't normally give much notice to it, but I just connected with you and your energy and your authenticity and your passion, and you just spoke to me. And when you have those moments of, when people say, it was just a yes, it really was a yes. And so I just stepped into that fully with my heart, and it was speaking to me of something that I had been yearning all of my life, actually. And so, I am trusting in the unfolding that my work will show itself in circle. But for me personally, this has been a personal transformation and a very important part of my healing in arriving arriving into my life and taking off all of the masks and taking off all of the roles that I've played for everybody else. And I give so generously. I think this is really sort of showing me how to really receive, which is equally important. And so this training, I don't even call it training, it's just there's no ending to it. It's been medicine for me.
So many beautiful things you said there. The first thing that you said just struck something in me was around the hunger that you felt. And you talked about the hunger of being seen. And my hunger when I came to circle work was to be holding women, but I actually didn't, I had a fear of being seen. So I didn't want to be seen. And I wanted to sort of fold myself into the whole. And I think for many of us who get drawn to this work, there is some sort of hunger that this can meet. And a bit like Sandeep said earlier, sometimes you don't even know what it is that you needed until you're in it. And so I think
Mm.
that the way you articulated that was so beautiful. Um, and the second thing you said, just around the way that this has been your medicine. My experience and the experience of so many is that we come into this because we want to hold space and hold groups of women and offer circle, and that's beautiful. But there's such a deep reciprocity at the core of the work that it can't help but nourish us as well. And so you said it's your medicine, and I've seen you have such a deep journey in our time together. You talked about a transformation. I'm wondering, I mean, you only just finished, and I'm wondering in those sort of 5 months since we began, what shifted for you?
I think my lifelong journey has been with fear, and that's presented itself in so many ways. And this opportunity, this experience, this connection with just such a beautiful energy, but women, beautiful, beautiful women, has enabled this deeper, more intimate relationship with fear. And, I really encouraging her to be here in a driving force for that change, to really give me that courage to break through that resistance, to really be with what it is that keeps me here. And yet I want to be there. So, seeing fear in such a way of intimacy has shifted, and also curiosity. She's here as well, and she's a great she's a great friend, and that just for me has brought this cracking open of my aliveness and my creativity, which is my life force energy. And I'm just falling in love with this feminine energy. I've come from a place of survival, and I'm a good survivor, but I now want to thrive. And actually, where I'm at is leaning into rest. Actually, you talked so beautifully about seasons of our life and being, meeting that and knowing that in that season, work is to be done, and seeing that rest is an active energy and very much needed. And where I'm at with my work right now, I haven't worked for the best part of a month. And that can bring fear in financially and not bringing in the energy of money. It can bring in lots of aspects of that shaking of the foundation. But actually, I'm curious about what it's bringing, and it's inviting me to ask the question, well, What if I don't go back to that work anymore? What would it invite in the new? And that excites me. And that's what you have given me, and the support of the women and this beautiful, yeah, rich resource that I feel very much aligned to and part of moving forward in yeah, my life.
Just it's just so rousing what you're saying about this reclamation of self, but without what you described there was really befriending the parts of you which are more challenging, the fear, and also embracing curiosity. And I think one of the biggest things that I've learned in this journey with Circle is that I don't need to squash those things. I don't need to move beyond fear. I learn to coexist with it. And it sounds like that's been a big part of your journey, as well as all the vibrancy and the aliveness. It's
Mm.
just, I feel like I want to go out and hold 100 circles tomorrow off the back of that.
Mm.
Let me ask you one more question, Claire. I'll never forget, we were right at the end of our training. You were like, I've done it. I've held my first circle. Tell me what it was like to have been through this process and to hold that first group.
Yeah, it was so extraordinary. It was a small circle, and it was a circle that I had only invited to people that I knew, because it allowed me to be safe, you know, that first stepping into to the unknown. And it was a really interesting process leading up to the actual circle day, because there was this doing part, you know, right, I've got to think about the meditation, think about, you know, da, 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 da. And I was really sort of trying to just step down from that and just allow this trusting in the unfolding. And again, there was this sort of observing of myself in this curious way, but really feeling the trust, actually, that the weaving of the energy of the circle will hold me and all of us. And that I've experienced before in holding workshops, but also receiving that in circles. So really bringing all of that sort of feeling in. I really enjoyed the gathering of the centerpiece. Just allow I remember in the morning, you know, putting some music on, just taking my time to clear the space, to prepare the space, to think about the people that were coming, inviting the energy of each of those people in, to trust that the meditation was just going to come from my heart, that I didn't need a script, I didn't need to practice, I didn't need to memorize, just allowing for me to connect with that energy and to then channel that through the meditation. And yeah, it was just beautiful. And what was so good was that there was this sort of divine timing. You somehow didn't even need a clock. Yeah, you need a clock there to sort of keep check, but it all just happened in this perfectly natural rhythm. And the poems that I selected just seemed so appropriate, and it landed for each of them. There were unexpected emotions for some of them. One person came with a very clear mind of just being an active listener, and yet she really contributed. So she brought that into the space, that actually this fixed state that she was coming in, actually, it was inviting her to share. And it was this beautiful foundation of trust and bravery. As you say, we can't ever, you know, say that it will be safe, but it will be held in a way that it will invite you to be brave. And yeah, and at the end I was mindful that because I'm friends with them, they may want to just hang on and just, you know, and it was trying to be boundaried in that time. And that all just, yeah, it happened. And I felt so elated afterwards. And yeah, I'm going to do another one on the 26th of October. So I'm doing a monthly one for that, hoping to expand and grow. And I'm not putting too much pressure on the whole marketing or how much do I charge at the moment. I'm enjoying the experience of what it's bringing. And yeah, yeah. So it was good. But I'm yet to do an online, so that would be a challenge for me online. Maybe not.